Cape Henry Collegiate's mission statement reads as this: we know, value, and challenge each student. We commit to building a diverse and inclusive community. We graduate independent thinkers and globally aware citizens. This mission statement is why alumni, some current faculty, and parents express their disappointment in what they say is the school's deafening silence on the current climate of our country due to racial injustices.
America is now in a time where the debate about racism can no longer be circumvented for the ease of white people, and it shouldn't be. And I think Cape Henry has the unique opportunity to take a stance and to make sure that the future Dolphins know that their school, takes an anti-racism position.
Natalie Bank, Natalie Parmenter, and Kristen Nixon crafted this letter and sent it to fellow alumni. They say now is not the time to be ambiguous, but to take a stance, pick a side, and call out injustice when you see it. The letter received around 180 signatures before it was officially sent to the school.
Cape Henry released a statement that missed the mark. It was talking about racism and diversity, but it didn't really address what our nation is actually talking about and racism as a whole and police brutality.
Over a period of that weekend after sending the first letter, I had the opportunity to talk with Black faculty here at the school, with Black alum, with some students and former students. And as a result of that, again, I realized that my initial words left them feeling disappointed. And that was my failure. And so it was really important for me in listening to them to be able to send something stronger out that spoke to them and let them know where Cape Henry stood, and it was with them.
In a vulnerable video that has now been shared around his school, Peter Pearson took to social media to share some of his experiences attending a predominantly white school.
And then later on leaving to go back to my neighborhood and hanging out with the neighborhood friends and them saying, wow, Pete, why do you talk so white?
In that moment, at that age, you never really realize it and don't know how to comprehend it. So subconsciously, you're thinking of things and you're trying to figure out a way to fit in both groups.
During a roundtable talk via Zoom, a small group of alumni shared experiences about how they felt on what they say is a lack of diversity at Cape Henry.
I would never say that the school itself was racist, but it had some bad actors.
I was on full financial aid. They, of course, presented it to me as a scholarship and not financial aid, which looking back, I realized was their way of making me feel included and not feel like I was less than or didn't belong there. I can say they always listened to everything I had to say, and they always took any concerns I had seriously.
But unlike Angel, Aaron Moore says he went through a culture shock after transferring from a predominantly Black public school in 9th grade.
One thing I remember always getting picked on is, why am I always so angry? Why am I always so quick to spout off on someone when they said something that was really disrespectful? And it's, for me, it's because I never had to deal with, a lot of just different pieces of racism. So I didn't know how to really take it.
Some difficult memories of the past when it came to racist comments were brought up in the group discussion. Alex Sproul attended Cape Henry from pre-K to 12th grade and says he remembers vividly when a classmate of his said he had to do his homework for him because he was Black.
We're second graders. This is our first experience with any kind of racial thing. So we're just like, are we really supposed to do his homework? And then it happened again with actually the same kid in 5th grade telling me that I would make a good slave because I was tall and I was Black and I was strong.
The topic of tokenism was also brought up.
Right before I graduated, they sent out a mailer. And of course, front and center was my group of friends, which was extremely diverse. We had an Asian guy, an Indian guy, me. But then I looked at the picture again, and I had been photoshopped into the picture twice. So I appeared once on the left side and once on the right side. And it was hanging right before you get to the headmaster's office as you walk through the front hallway.
I would like to see the faculty be a little bit more burdened with their own unlearning of some of their racism and their own learning of how to move forward.
When you hear from a student or an alum or a faculty member, a teacher here, and they tell you about an experience they've had, especially under my watch, absolutely it pains me. But it also makes me realize that we've got to now double down on doing even better here at Cape Henry, and hopefully schools across the country are hearing from their alum and are going to do the same thing. Not be defensive, be open, listen, and make changes.
And Dr. Guerin says changes will begin this school year, starting with the curriculum.
Taking a look at both our history courses and also our English courses, making sure that the literature that's being read in our English classes is coming from a set of diverse authors. Also making sure that the history that we're teaching is not simply events, but it's also the lived experience of people who are going through those events.
My biggest hope is that the conversation will continue. I feel like the dialogue is so important right now.
If it's white people who made the system, and if it's white people who kept the system alive all these years and who have profited from the privileges that it allows us, housing markets, job markets, education, I can go on, then I think it should be us who do the work to fix it and not the people who are being oppressed.
Alumni we spoke with say this is the time for their school to reflect, to think, and to change in order to fully represent the part of Cape Henry's mission statement of inclusivity and diversity. In Virginia Beach, Samantha German, News 3.